right, so we're gonna take a look at this. All right, so we're gonna take a look at this video from the channel, the GOOD RANT. It came out 2 years ago. It's titled "Bobby Lee Confronts Whitney Cummings." Now, I find this interesting because anytime Whitney gets confronted is worth covering, because, dude, she's such a dimwit that she's always put in her place. But does she change anything? Is she better? Is it fixed afterwards? No. She just thinks that she's the same as everyone else. Let's see what we got.
I guess I've just been operating under the silly guise that we've been friends this whole time.
I know we are.
Hey guys, so Bobby Lee appeared on Whitney's Good For You podcast and things got a little tense. It started out pleasant, but then 10 minutes in, Bobby Lee brought up something from 12 years ago that he was clearly still annoyed by. For those of you who might not know, Whitney Cummings had a sitcom that ran for 2 seasons before it was cancelled. Bobby Lee says he was invited to audition for a small part, but it seemed like he never had a real shot, as he was given an audition that might have been fake in order to give the illusion that she was helping him out. But when Bobby arrived at the
Wow, so that just makes me, I mean, of course that sounds true. Sounds like something that Whitney would do as a person. But it just makes me think how many times and how many other comedians have done this to fellow comedians. Because it does come across like this clique thing, like this community, like they're together and they stand up for each other and blah, fucking blah. But at the end of the day, they're really conniving. They're really gross. They're really dark. They're sneaky. And they would do shit like that. For no reason would anybody have the idea to argue against that. And I think it's worse in the comedy community because there's no barrier for entry. You can get in. You can get into this club very quickly and rise up and be around the top guys so fast. I mean, Shane Gillis did this in what, 3 years? And he's rubbing elbows with Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock and these guys. That's fucking nuts. I don't think I mean, is Timothy Chalamet hanging out with fucking Denzel Washington? I don't know. Is there some solo artist on YouTube that's hanging out with fucking AC/DC? I don't know. But here I see it very quickly. In the comedy world, if you got it and you're a nice enough guy, you can blow up. Or if you got it and you're an asshole, you can also blow up. But you have to be good at the thing. That's what I believe. And being good at the thing doesn't necessarily mean you're a good person. That doesn't necessarily mean you don't have ulterior motives. You don't have something else, an agenda, right? Oh, just because you're funny, none of those other things can be true. It's like, no, they can also be true. Absolutely. Let's hear some more.
At the audition, it was clear that it wasn't real.
So when you had your sitcom,
I cannot believe this is a 12-year-old.
I don't care.
You
Right?
wanted to play my boyfriend.
No. There was a part in there, right? And everyone in town had auditioned. Everyone, right?
Yeah.
And then I outwardly started complaining to everyone that would listen that I didn't even get an audition for it. I finally get one from my agent. But I go to the offices, and it's not even a casting director. It's somebody that works there, right, with a camera. It was like a kid. So then I go to this, I'm not kidding you, like a storage closet.
All right, there's a lot more gray hair on Bobby Lee here than what I've seen recently. And this is 2 years ago. What you doing, bro? That's my first observation. Second, it's hard for me to believe that Bobby Lee hasn't done this to many other comedians. Especially when they get stuff. Especially when they're the ones producing it or making it. I have to believe, now, I don't know how you'd prove me wrong, but I know for a fact that Bobby Lee is in the new season of Tires. Now, did Shane Gillis come to him? Did he audition? Or did he beg? Did he say, oh man, you got this thing and I gave you all these opportunities to be on my show and do this with me and blah, 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 blah. What about me, dude? Because also seems like his personality. Very much. Right? Like the desperation. It's still there. Whether it's with dating or this avenue, podcasting and stand-up comedy, Bobby is desperate, and it doesn't make any sense because, to me, he's one of the more liked dudes in the space. He's one of the more, like, okay, if you think about comedians that go on any podcast that can bring numbers in and help your podcast grow, Bobby Lee is probably number 1 or number 2, right? Because Bert Kreischer doesn't move the numbers, Tom Segura doesn't move the numbers, but if you get Bobby Lee or Shane Gillis on your podcast, people are going to watch. Why? He's going to be funny. That's it.
Right? And they go, just do it real quick. And they filmed me do the audition. It was one of those situations where, this is a favor.
Neil, the character's name was Neil.
I would have crushed that part.
You would have.
Yeah.
You actually really would have.
Yeah, I know I would have. But I didn't even get further than the closet. You know what I mean? And then afterwards, like, I saw you, and it took me years to get over it. I would look at you and I would go, hey.
All
but
right.
let me say, I'll never get over that.
You know what's funny, too, is when you think about, like, Whitney's career, the fact that she had a sitcom with Chris D'Elia is one of the last things I think about. It doesn't even go through my head for any reason when I think about what Whitney has done. Like, Two Broke Girls, fine. And then stand-up comedy specials and podcasts. Oh, yeah, and she's also, like, been the host on OnlyFans Roasts. So we know a lot of people watch that. Because that's what they go to OnlyFans for. But yeah, she did a whole sitcom. Probably, 20-something episodes with Chris D'Elia. On a show called Whitney. And it's not like one of those shows like Seinfeld. Because that's obviously why they named it Whitney. Because, Seinfeld. That is the formula for all comedy TV shows. They've done it a million times. What, fucking Marin? I mean, it's been done, okay? Mulaney, right? Problem is, because it's been done so much, nobody fucking cares, dude. Nobody even references that as like, oh, that's why she's famous. I remember because she did that show with Chris D'Elia.
And there's nothing you could say. There's nothing you could say to make me go. It's disrespectful. Honestly, though. Like, I know what I bring to a project. I really do. I would I'd kill it.
By the way.
No. But I literally been thinking about that every day for the last 12 years.
Every day.
I do. It makes me so mad.
Every day.
To be in a closet with the chlorine and a mop.
I know exactly.
And some kid like fumbling around a camera like, oh, no one's ever going to see this. But
yeah, it's like his own personal GoPro. I've had those before. I've been in those before.
But from a friend? Did you have that experience with the star was your friend?
Whitney throughout this looked guilty as hell. She doesn't know what to do with her face. Now, of course, they're both laughing it off. They're comics. Whitney at first denies that she had any knowledge about it, then says she didn't really have the power to do anything, even though it's her show, it's named after her. She clearly feels guilty and tries to hide the fact.
Even funnier is that saying that she couldn't do anything on a show named after her, only to go on and be like a producer, the main person, the creator of another show. Did you also not have power then? Why would they give you power if you never had any? Strange. Either way, I find her to be awful. And I'm going to cover this every time I can find a video about it. Hit the like. Hit the subscribe. And we'll see you.